Welcome everyone to our grant application review meetup. If you've not already introduced yourself in the comment section in the chat, please do. Welcome. How has your day been? So every last Thursday of the month, we host a virtual grant application meetup where an award-winning grant writer guides us through a live grant application process. Today, we'll be reviewing the Womanpreneur Pitch-A-Ton application. It's a grant offered by the Access Bank. And it's an opportunity to win an International Finance Corporation Mini MBA, that's the IFC Mini MBA, and be part of the 7 female business owners to win up to 5 million naira. Our guest today is Chichi Eriobu. Chichi is the founder and CEO of Phronesis Foods Nigeria Limited, a global growing food processing and packaging export company, creating new food lines from existing raw materials. Chichi's bio is long, but I want to read it for a reason. Chichi is a Christian and a multiple award-winning entrepreneur. She was awarded Best Female Business Speaker of the Year, Leadership Minds Award 2017, and Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year Award, Baobab International Awards 2018. In 2020, she was appointed one of the young people to sit on the board of Crown Point College of Health Sciences and Technology, Ogun State. And early 2021, she won an award for influence through business and entrepreneurship by FBI Awards. Also in 2020, Chichi emerged first runner-up from the Next Titan Entrepreneurial Reality TV show, season 7. She is a fellow of Changing Narratives Food Fellowship Africa and was one of Nigeria's agribusiness delegates to represent the country at the Dubai Expo 2020. Chichi's consistency with growing her company with very minimal funding has gained both her personal and business brand a global recognition. In 2021, her company, Phronesis Food, won the Mentor Matchup Pitch competition of $10,000. And in 2021 still, the company was selected top 14 agribusinesses across Africa by Go Getters Africa. Also, Phronesis Foods was recognized as one of the top 6 businesses to get into Entrepreneurship World Cup Nigeria in 2020. That was where I met Chichi for the first time. And she has been featured by several news medias, including How We Made It in Africa, Independent Newspaper, and Guardian Amazon Woman Feature, Item 13 Podcast, The Game Podcast. Having been selected for multiple business grant opportunities, Chichi is teaching other small businesses on how to leverage grant funding for their business growth. Hence, her first ebook is titled How to Pitch Your Business. Every experience shared in the ebook is cut from her place of personal experience. Please find out from her how you can get the book. Mentoring other budding entrepreneurs on business and entrepreneurship, she has far mentored over 300 people, providing a one-on-one mentorship and coaching sessions to more than 50% of them. Chichi's vision is to build a globally recognized solution-based food business and impacting other young entrepreneurs with the investment of her personality. Thank you so much, Chichi, for taking time from your busy schedule to be here to teach us on how to start and complete this Access Bank Womanpreneur application. Thank you very much. Please, you can begin. Just introduce yourself just a little more. Say hello to everybody. And if there's anything I missed out from your bio, please feel free to share.
Trust me, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. For a moment, I was like, oh God, I wish you can jump this. Can we just jump this stage and just go straight to this?
No, it was
Hi,
important that I shared everything.
Yeah, I think I totally get it. Hi, guys. Okay, first of all, I think that I have to introduce myself again. Chichi has taken 6 minutes already to introduce me, and that is 6 minutes of our time. Yeah. Okay, so I want us to go straight to the point, but before we jump right into it, I want to say a few things with respect to the Access Bank Womenpreneur Pitch-A-Ton, right? What we're going to be sharing is reviewing the application questions, but one thing I wanted to straighten out is the fact that the knowledge we're sharing is not limited to this very application question. You're going to meet several similar application question, and you're going to meet several. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to join with another. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted you to understand that beyond the Womenpreneur Pitch-A-Ton, you're going to meet similar questions. How you answer this will tell how you answer that one. I have gone through every single question in this very application. A few things have changed. As a matter of fact, I was in the Womenpreneur Pitch-A-Ton cohort 1 in 2019. I remember when we came across that application, I didn't think it was something I was going to jump on. I was in an Uber going to the office that very day, and there was a radio jingle announcing the Womenpreneur Pitch-A-Ton. Immediately I got to the office, the first thing I did was to jump in on the application. I didn't know that they had just launched it the day before. One thing is certain, every single time there is an opportunity, whether it's for women entrepreneur or for both male and female entrepreneur with respect to grants or grant funding, timeline with respect to when you submit your application is a very key advantage. I don't think many people understand that. A lot of people always wait till deadlines. I mean, it may have worked for some other persons, but there is no clear-cut strategy that shows that it is a working strategy. I mean, why would you wait up until that time? You also need to understand that it is human beings that are reviewing these thousands of applications. They're going to get tired at some point, and they're going to basically just maybe give your application for review based on the fact that this is how they feel, and you really cannot fault them. So I would from time to time share some of the factors that contribute to the judge's decisions with respect to your application questions. I also want to say this. I'm going to do a disclaimer at this point. Yeah. Whatever I say in this class is for this class. There is no knowledge that is cast on stone. Everything I'm sharing is from my personal experience of having assessed tons and tons and tons of opportunities for either female entrepreneurs or generally for entrepreneurs. It's basically the same thing. Now, the basic thing you're always going to come across is your general information with respect to the founder of the business, your details. Now, there's something that there's a lot of things that people do when they are filling their application and they're talking about their biodata. A lot of people try to drop their date of birth. I don't know why that happens. I wanted to start with that because I have seen that rob someone of an opportunity. What you have maybe in your driver's license or in your international passport is different from what you have here. And it was not an error. It was clearly something you did without thinking that the organizers of the grant opportunity was going to maybe ask questions about it. But please, there are opportunities for people between age 25 and age 45 that are entrepreneurs. It is up until maybe when you're no more now age 45, where you can say, okay, you are missing opportunities. But there are opportunities for young entrepreneurs between age 25 and to age 45. And it's the same thing they are offering. It's just for you to know where to find them. So please always ensure that the details you have in your application questions matches your original details. Your name in full, your date of birth, very, very key. Your state, your business name as it appears with your CAC document. The reason why this always comes up is largely because a lot of times you find that some people are applying for grant opportunities without a registered business name, right? And if you're using a registered business name, you're going to get to the point. You see that the next question is upload your CAC registration document. There are two answers to this question. Either you upload just your CAC certificate. If your business is a limited liability company, you may just upload the entire maybe 7 or 8 page that requires both your form CAC2, your MEMAT, your director's details, and the rest of that. So compile every single thing in a PDF. So anytime you come across this, it's easier for you to lift it and upload it. Your state, your business industry. I'll just go straight down. Do you have an Access Bank account? Of course, no, it doesn't disqualify you. What happens, however, is the fact that in the course, if you get selected in the course of going through the classes, Access Bank staff will be sent to the classes to help you guys fill out an application, fill out an account opening form. So, but we didn't have, I mean, many of us during my cohort didn't have Access Bank account. It was during the classes that account officers came into the class and talked to us about Access Bank, was it Wimbies or something? Access Bank opportunities with respect to having a female, a bank account, a business bank account owned by a female entrepreneur. In essence, like there are tons of opportunities why you should have one, right? Then you talk about now your annual turnover. Your annual turnover. Okay, so this is also very funny because I have seen tons of applications. I have, as a matter of fact, reviewed some grant applications where maybe the winning fund was maybe 1 million naira or 500,000 naira. And someone is asked their annual turnover, and you realize that the figure they are giving has absolutely nothing to do with their audited financial records. So it becomes a very dicey situation. So every answer must be something that is verifiable. Truth is, yes, more than 50% of grant organizers do not go the extra mile to verify many of the documents that you submit. But trust me, you may not want to be the scapegoat when they eventually decide to verify whatever you submit. Say they want to verify your date of birth, or they want to verify the annual turnover you put in your application, and they're asking you for not just financial record, but an audited financial record of your business. And some of them would go as far back as asking you for between when your business started and to date, or they will ask you the last business year, say 2021 business year. So what is your annual turnover as a company? It's not your profits. So it doesn't even matter if you're making profits or not. It's not your profit. It's just a total sales of what the business did in the previous business year. Please, if you have a question, just drop them in the comment section and then I will take them one after the other. When did you start your business? Less than 1 year, more than 1 year. This does not disqualify you. Again, during my cohort, there were people whose businesses were like 6 months old, like 9 months old. Their businesses were more than 1 year. There were businesses that were 8 years, 9 years in the cohort. And at least they still put in application for the Womenpreneur Pitch-A-Ton. Do you have a website? No, please, you should have a website. There is no reason why you should not have a business website. It disqualifies because the reviewers of your application questions always want to, have somewhere else they could read about your business other than what you provided in the application questions. So even if it's just a one-page website for your business, please have one, and it doesn't cost much. 40, 50K, you can get more than a one-page website. So link to, the funny thing is, a lot of times you may not know what would disqualify you or what would drop your mark, because for every question that you come across in an application question has a mark. Maybe the overall overall of all the questions is 100. And say we have 10 questions. Question 1 minus your biodata. Question 1 is probably 10 marks. Imagine if you're scoring 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. So there has to be an average that by the time it is collated, you stand a chance. So every single thing that would give you an advantage is the things I'm going to focus on. Please ensure that you have at least a one-page website for your business. You must. You should have one. Then put in the link to your Instagram or Facebook IG. Now let's get right into the key thing. Tell us about your business. There is a couple of things that has helped me over this period of time with respect to application questions. I always tell a story. I am good with storytelling. So depending on who is asking and the motive, I try to tell my story from the standpoint of who is asking. If, for instance, I'm applying for an impact investment, not the everyday equity investment. I am applying for an impact investment. An impact investment means that this investor is interested not just in the business, but in the impact the business is making in the communities where it is located. That is what many investors, the investors that are called impact investment, focuses on. If your business, it could be an NGO, but an NGO that is generating funding, right? You're generating revenue, not funding, you're generating revenue. And even though it's an NGO, you have a business model that yields return, that reinvests the return and directly benefits the people in the community. It's some sort of impact business, some sort of social entrepreneurship. So if this is an impact investor asking, I am going to tell my story from the standpoint of an impact investment. A lot of times you will always know the motive of the grant organizers. When you understand the motive of the grant organizers, you will understand what they're expected to see in your answer. This is very, very key. Take again, for instance, Access Bank Women Entrepreneurs is structured, this particular grant application we're reviewing is structured to empower women entrepreneurs. So if your business is structured to empower maybe women in the rural communities, youths and children, or females of younger age, you have to tell a story of how that happens. So they are saying, what motivated you to start the business? Describe the innovation nature of your products or services. Describe your target market potential. Describe your business model, no more than 200 words. Again, one of the strategies that helps me to easily answer some of these questions is 2 things. I have a business plan. I have a pitch deck. If you are listening to me and you do not have these 2 documents, you are shortchanging yourself. And I mean this with all sincerity. You cannot say you are a young entrepreneur or an entrepreneur and you don't have a business plan and you don't have a pitch deck. That's a start. Now, for every single time I have put in an application question, another thing I do is I have a blank Word document where every single answer I put in this, for instance, this womanpreneur, I copy it and I paste it in a Word document. When I paste it, when I come across another application tomorrow that would require me to fill in similar information, it's easier for me to pick it up and then fill it in. Now, there's something that some young entrepreneurs do. They pay grant writers to do the application writing for them. Now, while that may have worked for some persons, what you're also doing on the flip side is you're also changing yourself of the knowledge of your business. I mean, who is in a better position to talk about your business other than you? Who is in a better position? Not the grant writer. The chances of you getting selected, I mean, even with them, there's no guarantee with the grant writer. So you can't exactly bank on it. There's no guarantee. They are just basically doing something you paid them to do. They are not giving you a guarantee that in this application that where they needed 500 people to be selected, there is no chance you're going to be selected, because what makes you think that the other 499 people didn't pay someone else to write their application for them? So the advantage of putting in your own application for you is in the writing, you're getting knowledge about your business, you're researching about your industry, you're getting first-hand knowledge about your industry that you would need for not just the application you're putting in at the time, but also for the ones you're going to meet in the future. So here, they're talking about what motivated you to start your business. A very short storyline, straight to the point. For instance, what motivated me to start Chronesis Foods? I mean, basically all of you, if not everyone, let me not assume. I run a food processing and packaging company where we're doing okwa processing and packaging. Before I came into okwa business, I'm not answering the question yet, but before I came into okwa business, my mother had sold okwa for more than 35 years. And then this question comes up: Chichi, what motivated you to start the business? Simple. I looked at the suffering that my mother went through having to process okwa manually. It was exhausting. I couldn't watch someone who was so young suffer just because she needed to make ends meet. So what could we do? First of all, we took the first key thing, which we knew. So there are two ways or multiple ways you can approach storytelling. You can approach it from the standpoint of solution. You can approach it from the standpoint of the challenge. Or you can approach it from the standpoint of what was lacking, or the market gap, or what was lacking in the market. So I could talk about the solution by saying that we began to structure food processing chains that helps us process local food raw materials that are wasted in the rural communities. I could talk about how the manual process was affecting all the suppliers like my mother, how that was still not enough because more than 80% of the raw materials was still being wasted in the communities because it was being processed manually. I could also talk about the challenge or the gap in the market, which says that many customers are not able to buy ukwa because it's a seasonal food product and because the prices in the market is fluctuating, and also because the existing suppliers were not doing organic processing. There are multiple ways you could approach it. So if it is your business, if it's in your industry, you have to find out what is your motive. And it's something pretty much simple and pure. Because once you overspeak the grammar, we will know, or whoever is reading the application will definitely know that there is more, right? So describe your target market. Again, a lot of people think that when they put this outrageous number of saying that my target market is 20 million Nigerians, say it's not feasible. It's not believable. Your target market can be very small, yet they are continuously buying from you. You could have a large target market that are one-off buyers. You could have a smaller target market that are continuing buying. So you could have, say, target market of 5,000, but you give an averagely number of times they can possibly buy your product in a week or in a month. That's a ton of money. But if your target market is, say, maybe 50 million or 100, and they literally buy your product like once a month, you calculate it. If it's, how is it called? What's the name of this? Maybe your product is Range Rover. Is it Range Rover or Bugatti? And or you are selling Toyota, whichever way. If your target market, if your product is Bugatti, which is not as common on the streets as Toyota, it means that whoever is buying your product has to literally is a one-off buy. But someone who is buying Toyota can buy one today, buy one tomorrow, maybe buy it every 2 years or every 3 years or every 1 year, even, or every 6 months. Maybe it's Toyota parts, maybe Bugatti parts is not rampant in the market. So whatever it is, you have to be specific and believable. Now, describe your business model. Another mistake I have come across quite a number of times is when people copy other businesses' business model, they don't try to check if it works for them. I will be very straight. The first company I came across in Nigeria that started farm sponsoring, farm partnership, ROI kind of investing as an agribusiness was Crowdy. The owner was someone I interviewed at some point during the beginning of my career as an entrepreneur. I did interview him. Now, what eventually began to happen was that over a period of time, a lot of businesses started springing up doing ROI model. What they didn't understand was what you can see on the face of the company you're copying is not all there is to it. Because go back and check. You will see list of failed agribusiness models that did crowdfunding. What happened? It's the same crowdfunding they did that Farm Crowdy used to do many years back. And Farm Crowdy didn't run into the kind of problems that many of them have run into at this time. So you need to ask yourself, if you must copy someone's business A to Z, you need to ask yourself, are we in the same region of target market? Are we even thinking the same thing? The products, let's say you copy someone that is doing beans in Benue and you are doing beans in Enugu. The beans in Benue and the beans in Enugu, do they have the same shelf life, even though you're copying their business model? So you need to also understand that, because one of the things that happens when you pay a grant writer, again, I'm sorry, I'm not spoiling business for grant writers. I'm just trying to let you know that there is a high chance of copy and paste. And even though you sit in this class and you listen to me, it may look like I'm talking jargon, but if you leave here, you will not go and pay a grant writer. You will rob yourself, and there is no guarantee to anything. So again, when they are asking you about your business model, they are asking you about the different activities that your business engage in that helps you to arrive at making revenue. We're not talking about your revenue model. Your revenue model is basically the different channels through which money comes into the business. But your business model includes both your revenue model, your sales models, your financial model, everything combined together. They are not exclusive to each other, right? So what is the business model of Phonesis Foods? When we started, we wanted to just sell locally. There was no international market. We were not on any retail store. We didn't even have NAFDAC. As a matter of fact, we came into the industry with just one raw material. One raw material, which was okwa, not locally known as okwa. English name is African breadfruit. We had customers from abroad who wanted to buy okwa, and they also wanted to buy other food products. And they say, is this the only thing you sell? Yes, this is the only thing we sell. Why? Because we wanted to get into the food processing industry with one raw material that the market is not saturated. And so we set a 5-year vision that says we want to be Africa's go-to company for everything okwa in 5 years. It means that anything we need to do within these 5 years has to revolve around this one raw material. After these 5 years, we will look at our results in the last 5 years and ask ourselves, have we achieved what we wanted to achieve with this vision? Should we expand, maybe add 1 or 2 years, or okay, we have achieved it. Can we now add maybe beans processing as part of what we do? Now that's part of our business model. We niched down what we were doing. We were not scattered. So from one raw material, we created multiple food product lines. Somebody will say you have one product, but we don't have one product. There's a difference between one product and one raw material. We had one raw material and we multiplied it. Now that is part of our business model. And so we also make sure that we didn't get into any retail store until we strategically positioned stockists in the states where our target customers are located. Our stockists were already making sales before we began to look for retail stores. So when you understand your business, you are the one running it, and it doesn't even matter if your business is at an idea stage, but it's your idea. But it's in the filling out these application questions that you understand. You research out what other people in your industry are doing, and you're able to fill in your answer. What is the vision of your business? Pretty much simple. 50 words. I just said the vision of Phonesis Foods. We want to be Africa's go-to company for everything. We want to, in 5 years, be Africa's go-to company for everything okwa. Then what is the unique selling point of your business in not more than 200 words? And every time you see not more than 200 words, please always ensure that you stick to the number of words. Because once it exceeds, there's a chance that the judge or the person reviewing your application questions won't even read every single thing that you wrote there. Once your application is looking too bulkier than expected, it discourages anyone who is picking it up to review. Please always stick to the number of words that is being instructed that you fill in. So what is the unique point of your business life? What's the USP of your business? What makes you different from every other person, right? Somebody says, we do e-commerce. That's too generic. Everybody do bespoke e-commerce. Everybody do bespoke fashion. Everybody does bespoke whatever. What makes you different? What are you doing that every other person is doing? Are you innovating new food product lines, for instance, from existing raw materials, food products that were not in existence before? Say someone is, everybody that is currently selling beans flour. Everybody, okay, why am I even going so far? There's Machi. Sorry, I have to use you as an example. Yeah, so there's Machi food. Many of you know Bambara flour, right? But you need to go through the IG handle of Machi Foods and understand what makes them different. They are not just selling Bambara nuts flour. They have created non-existing food product lines from Bambara flour. Now, that is what makes you different. Another thing that makes you different could be that every other processor is doing manual processing, or they are doing sun drying, and you fabricated from scratch, you designed and fabricated from scratch a kind of dehydrating machine that were not in existence before. Maybe you worked with an engineer, whatever it is. Convenience, anybody can provide convenience. So convenience is not exactly a unique selling point. Again, you may not be able to know except you are directly involved in filling in your application, because I would not say that I knew it all. I flogged a lot of applications. Even now, I still flog a lot of applications, right? But the difference is that the more I have opportunity to fill in the application questions, the more I answer, the more sometimes the organizers gets back to me to tell me that this was what we were expecting to see that we didn't see. Or sometimes I reach out and say, if I didn't get selected, what did those that get selected say? So that I will learn for future purposes. I mean, yesterday I received a rejection email for an application I put in. This is the second time that particular grant is rejecting me. And today I received a congratulatory email for another grant application. Right? So that's how it is. But depending on what each organizer is asking for, the answers are literally more than 70% of the time, the answers are the same. Okay, what social impact does your business have? So this tells you that Access Bank Womanpreneur Pitch-A-Ton is interested in the social impact aspect of your business. I did say something about social impact when I started. Right? Those days are gone when people are just in business to make money. It's okay if you're in business to make money, but how does your making money benefit the community where you are? Maybe it's a community where you're sourcing raw material from. Maybe it's a community where you're sourcing packaging material from. Maybe it's the community where you are processing. Maybe it's not even a community, but maybe you have a foundation that a certain percentage of your revenue or your profit goes in to fund what's happening in that foundation. Maybe that foundation is for children, for orphans, or maybe that foundation is for women entrepreneurs, or maybe that foundation empowers other women. But you set aside funds that goes into that. That is the social impact. For us as Phronesis Foods, we were not just, when we started sourcing raw material, initially we were buying from suppliers. Over a period of time, as our markets and the demand grew, we began to structure modular plants in the communities where we're sourcing from. So the idea with the modular plants was for us to now directly offtake from those who owns the raw material. No more now those who buy from those who owns the raw material, process and sell to us. So now we have direct access to those who owns the raw material. However, structuring modular plants in the communities gives us access to employing at least 70 women per modular plant. So we did what we called every 10 community, one modular plant. So in every 10 community, we have one modular plant. So we now create job opportunities for women in those communities. But it didn't end there. We now went into partnership with NGOs that are sending children to school, that are doing back to school campaign programs and the rest of that, and went into partnership with them. And a certain percentage of our profit goes to that NGO. And many of the children of these women, again, whom we are providing job opportunities for, are taken from off the farm and back to school. Now, no impact investor would hear that and would not smile. As a matter of fact, this was part of what gave us leverage during the Mentor Matchup Challenge grant that we won $10,000 for in December 2021. So there must be something other than making money that your business is doing. They call it corporate social responsibility, whatever it is, but there has to be something other than money that your business is doing for the communities where it is located. Please find it. If there was none before, find it. It doesn't have to be something so big. You can start with one person. You can start with two persons. It can be that during the COVID-19 in 2020, we took COVID-19 awareness to one of the communities where we're sourcing raw materials from. We bought hand sanitizers, we bought face masks, we basically just paid health organizers to go to the communities and talk to them about it. It didn't cost us much because these health managers were already doing that on their own. So basically we cover their transport and their logistics and their feeding, and they go to the communities as ambassadors of our company, and they talk to the women in the communities about that is social impact. That is part of giving back to the community where you are making money. Now, what is your dream as a company? What is your dream? We, for Forensics Foods, our dream is to shine light on Nigeria's local foods that are going into extinct, which is why we're doing OPA. We could have easily just started rice farming. It's easier, or do gari processing, or do, cassava processing. But ask yourself in your community, how many people are selling OPA? How many people are on this call? How many people do you know that are selling okwa? Do you even know what okwa is? Right? But now I'm saying something about okwa. You're probably hearing it for the first time, or you know what okwa is, but you didn't know that. I like the look on the faces of a lot of people when they come across our products and they are like, somebody is processing okwa. How come? Yeah, somebody has to. We were at an exhibition in Onitsha yesterday, and this was the first exhibition we're doing anywhere in the Southeast. And by the time we sampled all of our products, our dried okwa in different pack sizes, our roasted okwa snack, and the okwa poundo, the okwa flour, people that came to the table were like, somebody's doing okwa poundo. Yes, someone has to do it. So our dream, what is the dream of your business? What is the future? What are you hoping to do? So after okwa, what are we doing next? I wish I can share all of that with you, but that's basically sharing the secrets of what we have for the future, right? But we are coming to the 5-year vision of our first 5-year vision. After that 5-year vision, we are diving into another local food that is not widely known. And the strategy is this. We wanted to get into the industry with a food product or a raw material that is not well known. And we will build a niche and we will build a brand so that by the time we eventually maybe decide to go into beans processing tomorrow, it is easier for people like you who are listening to me to look at us and say, if Forensics Foods did this with okwa, they can do this with beans for. That's the idea. And then we also wanted to do it because the smaller our niche, the quicker we could grow. So imagine that we're doing okwa, we're doing rice, we're doing yam, we're doing this. I see people do that. It's exhausting. There's only so much you can do with one raw material. How much more when you have multiple of them under your command? So what is the dream of the company? Not the dream of the owner of the company, the dream of the company. What are you hoping to do? For us, our dream is to shine light on Nigeria's local food products that are literally going into extinct. Many of you that are Igbos here know akidi. Very healthy food product you can find in the Southeast. It is literally going into extinct. The other day, I was researching about icheku. I don't know if I don't remember what the English name is, and I'm told it can be found in the north. Down there in the east, a lot of raw materials are going into extinct because of the deforestation. Now, if someone is not championing shining light on those food products, yes, Velvet Tamarind, thank you so much. If somebody is not shining light on those food products, they are going to go into extinct. So our dream is to shine light on them. Now, what is innovative marketing strategy that you would like to implement or have implemented in your business? Now, this is something that is easier for me to answer because I am a marketing person. I am a strategy and a marketing person. As the owner of the business, there must be places inside the operations that is your key strength. For me, I am a strategy person and I am a marketing person. When I say I am an innovative person, I'm going to share a very simple experience before I move on again. Sometime last month, we came across somebody who is my cousin, who is supposedly my cousin, who has been buying our products when he buys our product, he removes our label. Is it that he removes our label? I don't understand how he does it, but he removes our label and puts his own label on it. Or he puts his own label on top of our own label. Yeah. How did we find out? There's only one way we always find out our competitors. We use the same hashtags everybody's using. You want to find your competitors on IG or anywhere, put in the hashtag and it will pop out every single person selling the same thing as selling. It has always worked every single time. So apparently he blocked me on IG and blocked our company account. So I don't know what one of my staff was looking for. And she put in the hashtag and it popped up. And she said, ma, look at this. So what's that? And she showed me. I said, this is my cousin now. Apparently he buys our product from our stockist in the East, in Onitsha precisely. He removes our label, puts his own label. He copies our marketing content from my personal Facebook timeline and uses it to sell. When I say that we are in 17 retail stores, he writes that they are in 17 retail stores. When I write this, right? That's very interesting. When I saw it, which is where I'm going to with this gist, I said, you know what? We're not going to confront him publicly. I am a strategy person. So what can we do? I said, okay, let us frustrate his buying process such that he can only buy from us. He can't buy from any stockist. I won't tell you the details, but that was what we did. So by the time he was trying to buy again from the stockist, they said, oh, this is blah, 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 blah. And he can't come to us. If he goes through somebody else, we will. And that was how we got it. Now, with respect to him, because he was taking our product flyers that we were using to do marketing on IG and everywhere, he will take it, he will crop up the top part that has our logo and the down part that has our social media accounts, and he will use just the center. I said, let us customize our logo and blow it at the middle of the design. If he yanks it off, let's see how he can comfortably yank off the design without yanking off our working. And since the day we did that till today, except he created another IG account, we'll find out another day. So you must be one step ahead of those who are trying to frustrate your efforts, right? So what is your innovative marketing strategy that you would like to implement? When we didn't have NAFDAC, we structured stockists in Enugu, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja. These were the places that others were coming from. And we understood the fact that we didn't have reps. So we negotiated with two different categories of people. One, people who already exist in food businesses, and two, people who run logistics companies in these cities. We say stock our products. For every sale, we don't market, we will do all the marketing centrally. But for every sales that we dispatch from your store, we give you a certain percentage as a commission. I can't see myself. Hello?
Hello, Chichi. I can still hear you, and I can.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think my screen went off for a while. I'm not sure why. Okay. So for every single, so we told the stockists, don't do marketing for us. We will do marketing centrally, but for every single sale that we dispatch from your store, we will give you a certain percentage. And that was how we got into Abuja. We got into, so it's as good as us making sales, right? So we close the sales with the customer and we send the details to the stockist to dispatch, right? Now, when we began to get into retail stores, which was basically, our NAFDAC was delayed in 2020 because we needed to switch facility. When we eventually got NAFDAC, which was literally in a space of 1 month, in November 2021, we got into our first two retail stores in early March. What we did was to propose that, see, you know, when you are the one making the sales directly, is different from when retail stores are making sales. Now, your product may have been doing well on their own with you as a manufacturer when you're selling direct. It's not the same when you start getting into retail stores. Because when you start getting into retail stores, now you have to do another kind of marketing to tell your customers that they can now find your product in these retail stores. Because the retail stores basically don't do marketing. Have you seen maybe Jendol advertising on Facebook? I mean, if anyone has seen, but I haven't seen Jendol advertising before. They are just there. So it's your responsibility as a person who in your product in these retail stores to also advertise that your products are in these stores. What you're doing in essence is to cut your customers cost, cost of maybe delivery. So they can actually walk into a neighborhood store like Jandor and the rest of them and pick up your products.
Hello, Chichi.
Yes.
Okay, we lost you for a bit, but you're back now.
Okay, what happened was when we started getting into retail stores, we started marketing the retail stores, but it didn't stop there. We now employed merchandisers, right? Merchandisers are responsible for pushing your products in the retail stores. However, we didn't employ merchandisers for all the stores. We are in Blanco Ekati, right? We are in
Hello, Chichi. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I got a call. I'm on mobile.
Oh, okay.
We are in Blanco Ekati, and we are in another store in somewhere in Lekki Phase 1, 2 stores in Lekki Phase 1, and then Ikorodu mainland, like that. However, as a company, direct sales, our direct sales comes from 80% of our direct sales comes from Island. So we now ask ourselves, should we give our merchandisers responsibility? Should we employ merchandisers for all the stores or for the stores where we know that our target customers are located? So we chose, say, on the island, we chose 5 stores. But the merchandisers, because cost of marketing is high, the merchandisers only work on weekends. So on Saturdays and Sundays, you find merchandisers wearing our t-shirts in the selected stores, talking about our products. We wanted to just do roll-up banners and put at the entrance of the stores. The stores told us that it won't work. So what we did was to employ merchandisers, because the merchandisers are now talking to the customers direct. However, we are not paying the merchandisers salary per se. We are paying the merchandisers, we give them cost of transportation and maybe something to cover their calls and their data for those 2 days, right? And it's paid per day. It's not like we pay them for a month, no. So if we are sure that you are at the point, we have a rep in the stores that gives us feedback of how our merchandisers are doing. So we pay you, you talk about the products. For instance, a merchandiser is selling Okwa Poundo to someone who hasn't come across Okwa Poundo before and convince the person to buy. So for every sale they close, they also get a percentage commission. So it pushes them to do more. Now that is a marketing strategy, something we are currently doing, right? So what else are we doing again with marketing? So recently we onboarded a new brand manager. This is an amazing person. And he did say that, see, what I want to do with the brand is probably not something you have thought of. And I tell you, I believe him, because the exhibition we had in the East yesterday, we did something. For the exhibition we had in Anambra yesterday, we designed a roll-up banner. After we designed the roll-up banner, he called me, he said, no, he can't approve. He's the head of branding. He called the graphics designer and said, we can't approve this. This is the Eastern market. We cannot be selling the existing products that they know already to them. We have to push, we have to use Okwa Poundo to upsell the every other product. And that was what we did. We literally sold out all the packs of Okwa Poundo at the exhibition because it was a new product. And it's not the same. It's easier for us to maybe be selling dried okwa and roasted okwa snack in a Lagos exhibition. But when it comes to the Eastern exhibition, they already know dried okwa, they know roasted okwa snack as akin okwa, but they don't know Okwa Poundo. So we're using the product that they don't know that we want to do well, leveraging that market to upsell the other ones. Because you have to also understand something, right? In business, the response to your product in Lagos may not be the same to response to your product in Enugu, for instance, right? So you have to ask yourself, why? Why is this? So your market in Lagos is not the same. I mean, it's the same category. There are categories of target market. Because every time we talk about target market, is people think it's just one clear-cut thing. It's not one clear-cut thing. When we started our business, our primary target markets were Igbos, right? As we grew, we began to do something different. We began to talk about the nutritional benefits of our products. With the nutritional benefits of our product, we began to attract new customers, new category of target customers. With attraction of new category of target customers, we now structured another product to not just benefit the target customers, but to also benefit those who have known what our product was about, which was the poundo. So your marketing communications must vary from time to time, depending on what you're trying to achieve. More than 80% of our growth has been via social media. One key thing I'm going to say is this. Of course, we are reviewing application, but this is not more than reviewing application. I'm now sharing more than reviewing application. One of the key things we did that helped the growth of our business was the use of social media. I cannot begin to tell you how, if you do not have a well-structured social media page, you don't have to have 10,000 followers. I swear to God, you do not have to have 10,000 followers who are barely buying what you're selling. You could have 1,600 followers, 2,000 followers, 3,000 followers, and they are consistently, repeatedly buying what you're selling. And they are telling people about you. Some of them are not even following you, but they have interacted with you. All they need is to go back to their chat before with you and send their order again, repeat whatever they have bought or increase it or whatever. What I'm trying to say in essence is one key marketing strategy that we deployed was the use of the internet. If you use your phone and type Ukwa seller in Lagos or Ukwa company in Lagos, if we don't pop up on the first page of Google, we didn't do search engine optimization, nothing like that. But if you use the keywords, I bet you would find us. You'll find our office address, find that contact phone number that is workable. So please take it seriously. In what ways has your business been creative? I'm moving forward now. I'm sorry, I think I've dwelled on one question for a longer time. In what ways has your business been creative and innovative during crisis? It was in COVID-19 that we launched Roasted Okwa Snack. Prior to that time, people had asked us if we had Akinokwa. We said we didn't have, because we didn't think there was enough market demand. The reason why we launched Roasted Okwa Snack in 2020 was because two things. The world was looking like it will not survive the next day. People just wanted to eat on the go. And I beg, I don't want to waste time in the kitchen. Is this thing healthy? Let me just eat it now. And if I perish, I perish. If I don't perish, I don't perish. People wanted something they could eat on the go. And everybody was speaking the language of boosting your immune system. So what were we going to do? We practically jumped on the bandwagon and said, okay, let us launch Roasted Okwa Snack. It's ready to eat. It's the same. It's in line with what we're currently doing. And we launched it. And we launched Roasted Okwa Snack, I think either May, June 2020. By the end of July, August 2020, we did 200 kg in sales of just that one particular new product. And more than 60% to 70% of that sales were international sales. There is a current news that says there is no baby food in US. What are we doing with all the Nigerian local food that we have that is healthy for children? Let us manufacture baby foods now and get all the licenses and ship to the US market, since they can no longer now have baby food for their children, right? So in times of crisis, yes, now we are developing baby food from our raw materials. So maybe you guys wait for it. It will land soon enough, but we are developing baby food. So find out in what ways has your business been creative. Now, this particular question, it may be that your business didn't started up post-COVID, meaning that you have not faced crisis that would make you try to be innovative about your business, but you could share in future that this is what our business share practical example. If so and so happens, because that also gives whoever is reviewing your application an idea that, okay, this person understands not just the question, but understands what they could possibly do in the face of crisis with respect to their business. So What are your business operational process? Your sales, your management process, your accounting, your human resources, your customer service, your finance in not more than 200 words. So this is basically like summarize what you're doing. For us, we do not have an in-house HR. So anything that has to do with HR services, we are outsourcing to a third-party HR company. As a business, we are not. We recently moved from using Excel to using a customized accounting software that is being that a friend of mine designed for our company, and we're sub-hosting it on our company website. So we have an accounting software, we have HR software, we have 4 different softwares. One is for accounting, payroll and accounting is together with the HR. Another, the other one is for stock taking, and the other one is for sales and for customer service, right? So these are part of your business operational process that they are talking about. So what are you doing? What's the business? What are your business operational process? So we are outsourcing our HR process to a third-party company. Accounting, this is how we are doing accounting, and this is how this is who is doing sales. This is who is doing management. You don't necessarily have to like. You can even talk about how you're doing your supply process. Say, for instance, we recently moved from buying direct from suppliers to off-taking directly from the owner of raw materials. So because suppliers used to be suppliers buy from the owners of raw materials and process, and we buy from them. So we moved up higher in the ladder. So we started buying from whomever our supplier were buying from. However, we still kept our suppliers and business by employing them to work for us and even making them earn more money than they would usually do. So for instance, if some of our suppliers who were, for instance, maybe making a 10K or 15 or 20K profits when they sold to us, now we're saying, okay, you don't have to go through the stress. We're saying we have all the machine installed, we have a modular plant, it's well sheltered, it's everything you need is there. You come in and work for us. You don't have to sit under the sun in the open market to sell your wares. We're saying, come back, we are buying the raw material now, you process for us. Instead of your 10 or 15K profit, we're paying you 20, 25K. I mean, who would say no to that? Because at the end of the day, you're making more money, you're healthier, the stress is well managed other than before. And then they said, please provide your business financial statement. This is where it gets really, really fun, because a lot of businesses do not have financial statements. And I do not know why your business should not have financial statements. It's basically what your business, all the financial activities revolving around your business, say in 2021 business year, you should have it. You should have it. And of course, upload it. About the entrepreneur. So now it's time to talk about you as an entrepreneur. What is your area of expertise? I already talked about this. I didn't see this question. What's the area of expertise? I am a strategy person and a marketing person. There must be your expertise. You can't be everything. I mean, I know that sometimes, if not all the time, young entrepreneurs, we are the HR, accountant, everything, but there is usually the one. You may be a product person. Maybe you are a product developer. Maybe you are specialized in leadership HR, maybe you're specialized in customer service. I'm also quite extremely good with customer service. I'd rather the customer shout on me than losing the customer. What is your personal achievement? Yeah, that's where you bring in that kind of plenty of paragraph that Machi was reading at the beginning about Chichi Eriobu, something like that. What are your core values as a person? Right? I always talk about core values as a person. Many people do not have core values. A lot of times when people are setting core values for the business, they are brainstorming. Why should you be brainstorming? The business is literally the life of the owners. So what is your core value as a person? That should be able to show in your business. I'm going to share this, for instance. I am a customer service person. My core value, I am a people, I wouldn't use the word people pleasing person, but I am customer centric as a person, right? I did share a story on my Facebook timeline 2 or 3, 4, 5 days ago about a customer who had a bad experience with one of our products, with the new brand we launched in March. And I had to take up the responsibility and thought, I said, you know what, we're refunding you every single penny that you spent for this. And we did, including her cost of shipping. And we did. Guess what? She's the one shouting the praise of the business. So I am a customer-centric person. I am just basically, what are the things that appeals to you as a person? It's easier to answer what your core values are as a person. What qualities do you have that has helped in the growth of your business? I like to teach. Like to teach what I know to people, whether it's free, whether it's paid. I do like to teach. As a matter of fact, this class is for free. Much knows that there is no how on this earth anywhere I would have taught any class in a short period of time for free. God knows I won't do that. I'm sorry, but it's not me bragging, but it's who I am because I put in too much work. So I teach what I know. I teach a lot of times. This is the second time I am. The first time I did tell her when she called me that I have reviewed these womenpreneur before, but in a more elaborate way. I have a video somewhere, maybe on my Facebook timeline, where I talked about how women entrepreneurs can structure their businesses to attract grants. I have that video, both the one that is recorded in a paid class and the one that is free somewhere on my Facebook timeline. Maybe if you have time, you can search it out. So what qualities has helped in the growth of your business? So when I am able to teach people what I know, maybe the process of getting the NAFDAC for your business, maybe the process of getting FDA registration for your business, maybe the process of getting your product into retail stores, maybe the process of sourcing for raw materials, maybe the process of applying for grants like I am doing now. It's one thing that has helped the group, because what happens is that when I teach, you get to hear about Chichi Eriobu, right? When you're hearing about Chichi Eriobu, you're also hearing about the business behind Chichi Eriobu, which is Furnaces Foods. I did go on a social media hiatus break for like 3 weeks at the beginning of July. I just like got back to Facebook like this week, right? A lot of people started just suddenly remembered that they needed to restock our product just because I came back on Facebook. So that's basically saying that as the owner of the business, once people are not seeing me, they will practically like forget that there is Furnaces Foods. But once they start, some of them remember, I need to buy. My brother is coming to Canada. I need to restock. Somebody is coming here. I need to restock. And sales started coming in, right? So you need to understand how your personal brand as an individual is also helping the growth of your business, which is one reason why you must separate your personal brand from your business. That's another day's conversation. It's a whole day conversation. You work full-time or part-time in your business? Of course, it has to be full-time. Once you answer that you work part-time, there is an 80% chance you won't be selected. 80% chance, because they want to be sure that the money they are giving you or the attention they are giving you is all worth it. How successful have you been at solving problems? Very successful. I mean, it has to be. If you haven't been very successful, you still have to. What qualities do you look out for when employing? I look out for maybe not someone who has a skill, but someone who is teachable, someone who is willing to learn. Because a lot of times, I can't tell you, we started 2021 with one staff who eventually left. By the end of, as I'm speaking with you now, we have nine full-time staff. 9. Yeah. So I look out for people who are willing to, who are teachable, really teachable, people who listen. Take, for instance, we used to have a digital marketing person who would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and shout, and you would think that I am going crazy. When the first time we eventually served a query letter, he tendered a resignation letter. And that's okay. When he left, the person that took up his job is a head of department, is someone handled another department entirely. And she's doing it extremely well, and that I don't have to complain. All I have to do is to teach her what to do once, and she gets it. And I'm wondering, how do I marry her handling her department and handling this other responsibility that is not originally hers, but she's also doing it very well? So I always look out for people who are teachable. They may not have the skill, but they are willing to learn. Describe the nature and structure of your team. Say functional team. Yeah, I think I sincerely I don't understand in detail what this question is, but I'm suspecting that for us in Furnaces Foods, yeah, we have a culture of everyone understanding everyone's job responsibility, such that if head of kitchen or the senior chef is out of the office, someone else can easily pick up the person's job. If the head of processing department is on leave, someone else can easily still deliver her job without the business suffering, right? We recently switched roles with respect to a business development manager, and the persons that are handling what the business development manager was handling, it's easier for them to understand. What level of education do your employees have? Of course, it can't just be WAEC. It has to be. It doesn't have to be master's, but the minimum has to be bachelor's degree. Remember again that the motive behind the mind of who is asking you these questions is to be sure that if they hand you over 20 million naira or $20 million, they are not regretting it. You have a team capable of using the money to do what is expected. For how many employees do you have? You can answer. What are their roles and responsibilities? And do you effectively execute the tasks? Do they effectively execute? Well, I'm sure that, you see, the thing with some of these questions is you are not actually expected to say no. You should say yes. Every single question that has to do with no and yes. Do they effectively execute tasks as assigned by the manager? Yes. Do they focus on solving problems and provide suggestions rather than blaming others? Yes. Do they share relevant information freely and participate in meetings? Yes. If you say no, why are they not participating in meetings? Again, these questions are psychological. I mean, if you say no, you are saying that we don't qualify for this opportunity. That's basically what you're trying to say without even realizing. You may think that some people call it being realistic. That's not being realistic. You're robbing yourself of opportunity. Yeah, just like one of my mentees say, I don't think I'm ready. When I'm ready, you are never ready for an opportunity. You are never, when you are ready, it may just be that time has passed. But it is the more you put in, the more you put yourself in the place of opportunities, because you never can know which one will tilt your way. So you have to continue to show up. Did anyone help you to fill this form? You cannot even, the answer cannot be yes. If selected, will you be able to attend the mini MBA training? Now, this is extremely yes. Now, the mini MBA classes, when you get selected, I wouldn't use the word if. There are 55 people listening to me, and 100 people will be selected. The number has increased. When it was our timing cohort one, it was 50 people. There were 33,000 applications in 2029, and there was no other African countries. It was strictly Nigerian female entrepreneurs. 33,000 applications. They shortlisted down to 12,000 applications. From 33,000, they shortlisted down to 12,000 applications. From 12,000 applications, they now sent us an email with another set of questions, and they said to us to answer these questions. There were two things they asked us to do in the second email. One, after we have answered the question, they asked us to submit a 2-minute speech video. And two, they asked us, are there other documents? Do you have any other thing you want us to know? Or are there documents you have that can help us review, that can help review your applications? These questions, they will now tell you it is optional. Anytime you see a question that is optional, please do not leave it blank, because every answer is a point plus to getting you selected. Many people, I'll tell you why I said that. When we scaled through first 12,000, first 500, okay, it was when we were running first 500 that they sent us the email. When they eventually selected top 50 of us, the company that made the selection process, the manager of the company or the MD of the company came to our class in one of the days of the mini MBA to tell us how we got selected. So any single time you find questions that are optional, do not say, it's optional, opportunity to jump and pass. Don't do jump and pass. Please fill it in, because it gives you a leverage ahead than someone who didn't fill anything. Put in a 2-minute speech video if they ask for it. That is the way for the organizers to see your face through the video and to feel your energy. Please don't do jump and pass. Ensure that you answer it. When they ask for extra documents and they say it's optional, please, maybe you submit your business plan or your pitch deck or something, maybe your company profile. Anything to give to help the organizers get to know you better and get to know your business better is a plus. So if selected, will you be able to attend the mini MBA training? Yes, this class is everything value. I don't know if it's the same facilitators we had from Ghana. I don't know if they are the same facilitators you guys are going to be having, or this session is going to be having, but it is well broken down. It's as good as you being in a business school. That is why it's mini MBA. Because there will be use case studies. You would join groups in the class. This one is not, I am, what do they call these people? The ones that don't like to interact with people, and the ones that, this one is not, I am an introvert. You will meet people. The introvert in you will fly away, because you will learn, you will interact, you will form friendships. Be open to learning and be open to anything that will help your business grow. Please tell us how you heard about this. This is basically it. Now, let me say something. I'm not sure if the application process is still the same as it was in 2019, which was like 3 years ago. I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but if it is, after this stage, there's going to be, because the number is usually much, is expanded now to other African countries. So it's not just Nigeria. And they have increased the number of people who participate in mini MBA programs from 50 to 100, right? So it means that there is a chance. Also, not all the 100 people will get the funding, or not even 50 people will get funding. As at this morning, from the structure I'm seeing, is 7 people that would get funding. During our time, I think it was only 3 people that got funding. I mean, that 3 people has become 7 people now. That's a lot of progress. So if there is another stage, that next stage will be asking you other questions. But very importantly, while you fill in this application question, please always have a Word document. You can copy the answers you fill in here and put it in the Word document and save it on your PC, so that when you come across another opportunity tomorrow, you can be able to use the same answers that you use in this one to answer those other opportunities. I think that's basically that. So now I'll take questions. Machi, can I stop sharing my screen now?
No, you can still leave it on. So okay. Everyone, okay, Duwose says she's a big fan and she has a question. I will unmute her now so she can ask her question.
Hello, good afternoon. Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Chichi, good afternoon. Hello, what?
Hope I didn't murder you.
I am used to that. So I'm actually not sharing a question. I'm actually not asking a question. Okay. I just want to say something. Please, if you're in this class and you've listened to Chichi, you're blessed. I remember the first class of Chichi I attended was last year, how to structure your business. Then I was just doing business. And so after that class, I went in that class prepared with my book, my pen and paper. I took down everything she said in that class. And guess what? It didn't take me up to 2 weeks. I started putting everything she said in practice. That was early 2021. And then I had applied for tests. So Chichi, with the class she did, she had to help me. And the next one was how to pitch your business. I think how to pitch your business or something. It was her pitch that I used and won that grant last year. This year, the same thing, Chichi, I attended one of her classes. She had helped me. I don't go to her, but I make sure that I try to attend any class, either paid or free. This year, I've been able to win another grant with the same help of what she taught me then. So if you're here, you're just lucky. When I didn't know, when I saw it, I just saw Chichi and I was like, no, I have to attend the class. So this is me saying, Chichi, well done, and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm not sure what to say, yeah, but I'm blushing. Thank you so much. I think I know who is speaking. Yeah. We will take care of this. Okay, so quickly,
No problem.
guys, there's a question from Ena Uchenna who says, what if you already have an MBA? Do you mention this? How will this affect your chances? It won't affect your chances. An everyday MBA that you have in whatever field does not affect you getting a mini MBA program, right? So you are not, so you can mention in your application that you have an MBA, but of course, nobody is asking you. It may be an MBA in engineering, it could be an MBA in PR, it could be an MBA in whatever, right? But it's entirely different from this other one that, I mean, I have 2 mini MBAs. I have this Access Bank mini MBA certificate, and I have the mini MBA certificate from Techidia mini MBA by Professor Ndubisi Kekwe. Yeah, so this, you're not shortchanging yourself. I'm trying to see other questions. Sorry, hold on. You guys also need to understand that yes, sorry, hold on. Somebody is asking, would the mini MBA be virtual? I think maybe the 2020 session was virtual because of COVID-19. But I'm not sure this will be virtual. However, as at 2019 cohort 1, it was a physical class, an Access Bank owned facility. You're entitled to breakfast and lunch, at least. That's what I remember. But of course, you're responsible for your for your accommodation if you are coming outside of Lagos. Or for me, I mean, I lived within Lagos, but I had to get an apartment because, and when I say it's a serious classes, it's a serious classes. Some of us were driving from the mainland to Lekki every single day for those classes, and we still show up the next day. Yeah, you need to be there. That's the commitment you are making to this. Please let me know if there are any questions that I am missing. Somebody is saying good evening. Okay, somebody is asking, please, what counts as a financial statement? Your financial statement is okay. So there are 2 sides to this question. You can basically just request for your bank account statement and balance it with your books. Some organizers practically just say, send us your bank statements, right? Because bank statements are untampered with, except in cases where they are tampered with. There has been cases where they are tampered with, because sometimes there is the bias of the judges. I don't know, there is this bias, nothing would control it, right? Or bias of the organizers. They may say, we want, without telling you, this is not with respect to this very application, but without telling you, the organizers may say something like, your revenue must be between 500 million and above, or 20 million naira and above. It means that if you put in that your revenue is 20 million and above, but it is not tallying with what you have in your financial statement, in this case means that what went through your company bank account and what went out, it means that something is missing. So also your financial statement could be a balanced bookkeeping of what transpired in your business the entire year. For us, if this is asked, we have an audited financial statement. That audited financial statement is the entire financial activities, what we bought, all the expenses we made, all the assets we bought, the salaries we paid, the loans we paid back, or the loans we are owing, who is owing us, who we are owing. All of this are what makes up your financial statement as a single document. So many of them are audited, many are not audited, but if you file your CIT returns at the end of every business year, what you're filing must be an audited financial statement, and that is what should count in this, because in this regard, you're dealing with a banking institutional opportunity. So another reason why they are also asking is maybe it's for their own benefit. They want to know if we should follow up on this customer to come and run a corporate account with us, something like that. Yeah. Somebody is saying, good evening, please, I just joined the meeting. I don't understand. I need a brief. You don't understand. Do you know what the meeting is about? Wow, wow, wow. This is so loaded and very generous of you, Chichi. Please say, what chances does a woman above 50 years have in grant opportunities or similar projects? With respect to people, women above 50 years, there are opportunities. However, like I said earlier on when I started, bulk of the opportunities you're going to find with respect to women entrepreneurs and women empowerment are usually for women between the age of 25 and 45, right? Once above 45, what happens is when you get, there are platforms where you can find opportunities for female entrepreneurs. There are platforms, right? And each of those opportunities specify what age brackets that they are looking for. So if I cannot practically like give, but with respect to grants for women above, I mean, for someone even above 50, yeah, you can look for grants. I won't discourage you. But if you need funding for your business at that time, there are two key opportunities you should focus on because of the age challenge. I won't call it a disadvantage, but the age issue. So is it that you're doing family and friends, that's F&F, or you are doing loan funding? Because with loan funding, right? Okay, let me share an example. I'm not sure if this is my story to tell, but there was an opportunity that involved two people. This one, I was there, and I saw the judgment happen, and I knew that that was what was going to happen. This other young man has an interesting idea, quite interesting. This other young guy who was 40, above 40, also has an interesting idea, right? But the organizers were measuring both of them, both based on age and experience generally as an individual. It has nothing to do with the business. They have evaluated their performances so far, but this is the critical stage. What are they going to decide? I looked at it. This other guy, has an amazing idea. He's barely 24. Why should we give him this 50 million naira? What is the guarantee that he will not blow it? Do you understand? This other one is 42, I mean 43. He has seen life. Life has dealt with him. He has dealt with life. If he misses this opportunity, there's also a chance that he may never get another one. At that point in time, what's happening is judges' bias, and there is nothing you and I can do about it. It's their money. It's a decision to make. So if you are within that age bracket, do family and friends funding, right? Also look out for, find yourself registered on platforms that, that has more opportunities for people without any age. Some of them specifically say no age is limited, anybody can apply. Yeah, so you can find yourself and then just keep shooting your shot. What if you don't have any employees? Does it limit your chances? No, it doesn't, but please do not leave it blank. A lot of times when people say, what if you don't have any employees, does it limit your chances? It means that some of you, you actually do have employees, but you're probably not counting them as employees, probably because you're not paying them salary, right? I used to have a mentee whose mother was playing a key role in her business. And when she wanted to apply for one opportunity, she said, I don't have it. I said, what is your mother? Who's your mother? Are you using her to decorate business? I mean, her house help. I mean, when she started, her mother was playing a key role. Her house help was I said, these two people, who are they? Are you using them to decorate the business? So you also have to look through, check very well, because they're definitely not the one doing everything. If you look very well, Halima, you will find that you're not the one doing everything. There are people helping you. What do you count those people as? Because you don't have employee. Where can you get accurate statistics of your target market? On the internet, are there sites to search through for food industry and also skincare? There is. These things, there are research companies that have done all the research work and posted them out. Some of them are coded, you have to pay to access the details. Some of them are free. In fact, the ones that are free are more than the ones that are not free. So yeah, You can get statistics of your target market on the internet and then use it to evaluate your business. What's the fees? What's the fees and which institutes and some session? I don't understand. Ola, I don't understand that question. Maybe you send it in again. Please, if I miss your question, maybe you send it in again. Yeah, I'm trying to pick as much as I can.
A few people are raising their hands. Should we take some?
Yes, please. Yeah, I just wanted to take what's in the comment section. Do you run online classes? I'm not based in Lagos. Is this for me or for Shecluded? Yes, I run online classes. Of course, in fact, bulk of my classes are online. I do have one class that is coming up in August, niching your business for growth. Yeah, and it's a physical.
Hello, Chichi. Hello, Chichi.
You can share the recording to everyone. Sorry, did you miss me for? Sorry.
Yeah,
I was getting.
Yeah,
sorry, I was getting.
I shared Chichi's Facebook link earlier. I'm going to share it again so you can follow her and be in touch so that you know when she has classes coming up.
Thank you. Are there specific industries that are focused on doing selection? No. People in the leather work industry were selected, food industry, people that were even doing consulting were selected. It's about how you fill in your application and how attractive it is. That's all. How about profit and loss statements? Yes, that's part of your financial statement. Financial profit and loss statements, break even, blah, blah, all of them. That's why I said all the entire activities involved, all the entire financial activities involved in your business. That's all what makes up your financial statement. What you submit to FRS at the end of your business year. You spoke about having a website. So not having a website will automatically disqualify your application. I wouldn't say it would disqualify your application, but I would say that it will give you leverage. That's what I would say. It will give you leverage because now you're giving me a platform where I can go and read more about your business other than what you filled in the application question. Somebody said, what chances does a business that is at the idea stage, prototype stage have at getting in and even making it to the top 7? Okay, I don't know about you making it to the top 7, but I know you have a chances at getting into top 100 or even top 50. And that chances is in how you answer your application question. How you answer your application question. Even if you have prototype, it doesn't matter. There were businesses, except things has changed, but during cohort 1, there were businesses that were, I did tell you, at 6 months, you can't exactly call them established businesses. They are practically testing out prototype at that time. So, and they were in the top 50. So yeah, it's all about how you answer how promising your idea is. Would it be more advisable to start a new bank account if you just started working on your business full-time recently? Of course, you can use your personal account to run your business. Always, always. Another day, I will talk about small business owners who are using their business revenue to pay tithe in church. Today, I don't want to fight today in class. You people should not steal me, Sha. Okay, yeah. So please have a separate bank account from yourself if you are going into your business full time. God bless you for this class, ma'am. Thank you. Does a new startup have a chance? A year and 7 months business. I work alone and just one part-time worker. And total revenue for me first year is about 600,000. That's a big deal. You know, my revenue in my first year of running Francis Food was 600,000. Oluwa Nifemi Ademi, yes, you stand a chance. Again, bulk of the questions I'm getting so far, they're interesting questions, but everything is hinged on how you answer your application question. Of course, you cannot you say you work alone and with just one part-time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have proven that in your first year you made 600,000. So what are you going to make in your next year? Remember, in answering your application questions, you know, in these questions, it looks like there's nowhere they asked you about your financial projections and your profit projections and the rest of that. But a wise person would know that those information are important. Depending on which question you're answering, you can chip them in. I mean, a lot of times when I am talking about, okay, yeah, the person, okay, this is Gabby, you were asking about paid, what I run online classes. Yeah, I do paid classes online. Yeah, I do. A lot of times when sorry, I was trying to say that a lot of times when you come across questions that are talking about hold on. Yeah. Questions that are talking about financials of your business, right? And they're asking you if you are working your business part-time or full-time, and you are obviously working part-time. Please do not say in that application that you're working part-time, because that is automatic disqualification. It's assumed that you're not focused, that you're not putting your entire attention in that business, and nobody will give you money. Nobody would give you a grant to put in a business that you're not 100% committed to. Nobody. Gabby says, hi, Chichi, my business is like a side hustle, so there is no consistent revenue. My financial statement is scanty. Does it reduce my chances of securing grants for it? Yes, it does. Though in my first year, I made 300K, some months, zero. Yes, it does. It does, except you're telling the grant organizers that it is not a side hustle, that you're fully committed. That you're fully committed to, yeah, accept that. I think that's the last question. Please, if I missed your question, please let me know. Machi, that's all for me. Maybe we can now take a few questions from those raising hands so that I can run along. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Chichi. I know that you had so much on your plate this week, but you still made our time to be here. I really appreciate. Tega, I would ask you to unmute now so that you can ask your question. Okay, Tega.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much, Chichi, for this session. It's very insightful. And thank you, Shecluded, for putting it together. I think I missed the part where you were talking about this others. Did anyone help you fill this form? I see that you put yes. I'm not sure if you explained, or I probably missed when you explained why you have yes there.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, that whatever you're seeing there was automatically filled. I haven't filled. Yeah, I haven't filled. What I did was to just register on the to just register to have access to the form. I haven't filled the application question, and I don't have plans of filling. I mean, I was already in cohort 1, and I already have the mini MBA certificate. Yeah, but if anyone did help you fill the form, I think I did say that the number of no's you have with respect to some of these questions that are yes or no. If you have a larger number of no's, is a disadvantage. Yeah, you may say that someone helped you fill this form. Does that mean, you have to ask yourself, does that mean that you do not understand your business? Because basically what this form is that you should share about your business. So do you think, you need to ask yourself, do you think it makes sense that someone should help me fill this form when I am the founder of the business? Or when I am the one, do you understand? So you have to think about it on the other side. Sit on the other side and ask yourself, if I am the person organizing this opportunity, and I'm asking you a question about your business, are you going to bring your employee to come and answer the question, or a member of your board of director or board of advisor to answer the question? All these people are important in the business, but all of these questions is expected that you are the one that answers them. So that answer shouldn't be yes to begin with.
Okay, so I assume that you are typed in yes, so that's why I was asking.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless.
Okay, thank you, Tega, for your question. Ebenezer, I'm going to unmute you to ask your question. Ebenezer? Okay, if Ebenezer is not coming on, that would be it for today.
I think someone is asking in the chat box, must I show consistent revenue month in, month out? No, you mustn't. And nobody is going to be asking you to show your monthly revenue chart before they will give you a grant. Nobody does that. The best you're going to get with respect to financial related question is your annual revenue. Nobody asks you what your monthly revenue is, because of course there as young entrepreneurs, there are months that you make very little sales. Yeah, that's it. So nobody will be asking you about that. Sorry, I can't hear the person that is speaking. Somebody is asking, please, can you explain innovative? Sorry, somebody is asking, can you explain innovative marketing strategy? I did explain, I did talk quite a lot about marketing strategy.
It's me, Ebenezer.
Fextra UI is asking about innovative marketing strategy. Yeah. Please just hold on. Whoever is unmuting herself or himself, please just hold on. I will take that question, whatever you have to say. Please, can you explain innovative marketing strategy? So I did explain when it comes to marketing strategy, there is quite a lot of things that you could do, right? But when people hear innovative marketing strategy, they are trying to think that they are being asked for something that no one has done before. When it comes to marketing, there's literally nothing that no one has done before that you're going to do. What most likely may happen is you improving what someone else has done before, right? I'm not sure what your business is, Fextra. I would have made a lot of sense if you explained what your business is about. Fextra, can you say what your business is about so that I would know how to guide you on your question. Okay, leather works. Yeah. So your innovative marketing strategy as someone in leather works could be that you're talking about, I'm trying to find a better way to put it, but I don't know how many people who are into leather works are strictly focused on children materials. I know that plenty of people are into leather works. Some people are doing handbags, shoes. What if you are focusing, first of all, what if you are niched down to providing leather works related to children? You're not doing what every other person is doing. That's one. Number two, what if you're not doing retail leather works? You're marketing to retail, but you're doing wholesale. A friend of mine who is in the leatherworks industry calls herself, I am the shoemaker's shoemaker. What that means is she's a shoemaker, but for other shoemakers, meaning that she does not deal to individuals, she deals with businesses. So your marketing strategy could be that you are focusing on teaching shoemakers who are in retail businesses, or you are focusing on reaching a market for children, leather related fashion wear or whatever. But whatever happens with respect to marketing, remember that the end goal is your customers. It's pretty much easier to answer three things: your product or your service, who you're serving, your product or your service, who you're serving, and what they need. So it's easier to communicate what you're doing. Is the program online or physical? I'm not sure. When we did in 2019, it was physical. However, I think in 2020, it was online because of COVID-19. I'm thinking that it should be physical this time around. And there's a whole lot of advantage you're going to get other than getting into the program. Of course, you're going to get into the program, you're going to go through the mini MBA, and Access Bank is going to put your face everywhere. I mean, it was Access Bank that put my face for the first time on a billboard in Lagos State. And I'm not talking about one billboard, I'm talking about up to 5 or 10 billboards at a time. And that is brand visibility for your personal brand and for your business. So yeah, that's that. I think that is that. Anyone, can I sign out now?
Thank you very much. Yes, you have given us So 1 hour, 40 minutes. Thank you so much. Yes, you can sign out now. Everybody, thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Hope it was impactful. If it was, please go to your Insta story, take a screenshot, post on your Insta story, and tell everyone how the class was. That's how you can say thank you to Shecluded and to Chichi Eriobu. I'll put Chichi's handle. Her handle is Chichi Eriobu or Chichi or Phronesis Foods. Please tag her. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. So at Chichi Eriobu. At Chichi Eriobu and at Shecluded. All right, everyone, have a blessed evening. See you in the Telegram group. If you're not a member of Shecluded yet, please join. If you don't have the link to join, send me a DM on @Shecluded on Instagram. Bye.